Ciao bonsai, Nuoy, Toy la Diana Nicole, Tika Paranga, Tempio Sembre Bombon, Camarinesor, Potoy Hai Motoy. Now let's move forward to the funding and resources, government expenditure on education as a percentage of GDP. In the Philippines, the government spends about 3 to 4% of its total economic output (GDP) on education. This money is mainly directed to the Department of Education, which is the DepEd, which takes care of basic education, while the Commission on Higher Education, the CHED, and the Technical and Skills Development Authority, the TESDA, also receiving funding for higher education and vocational training. To pay for education, the government uses a mix of money from taxes, loans from other countries, and partnership with private companies. When deciding how to distribute these funds, they consider the number of students, schools, and teachers in different regions. However, there are significant challenges. Many schools, especially in rural areas, struggles with not having enough money, poor facilities, and lack of resources. This means that while the government is trying to invest in education, there are still many hurdles to overcome to ensure that every child has access to quality learning. In Vietnam, the government invests about 5 to 6% of its total money (GDP) into education. This funding mainly goes to the Ministry of Education and Training, which is responsible for schools and universities. Other important organizations like the Ministry of Labor and the Vietnam National University also receiving some of this budget. To pay for the education, the government uses different sources of money such as taxes, loans from other countries, and partnership with private companies. When deciding how to distribute these funds, they consider the number of students, schools, and teachers in each area, like for the Philippines, and especially focusing on helping regions that are less fortunate. However, there are still big challenges. Many schools, especially in rural and mountainous areas, struggle with not having enough money, poor buildings, and lack of resources. This makes it hard for students and teachers to get the quality education they deserve. Now let's move forward to availability of school facilities and teaching materials. In the Philippines, having school facilities and teaching materials is really important for education. The Department of Education is trying to make improvements like building more classrooms and providing better resources. However, however, many rural areas still struggle with the lack of these essential facilities. In Vietnam, the government is putting money into improving schools and making sure everyone has access to education. They want to make schools better and more welcoming for students. However, there are still big differences between cities and rural areas. In cities, schools often have more resources and better facilities, while rural areas may struggle to provide the same level of support for students. And here are the common challenges of Philippines and Vietnam. Insufficient funding. Both countries face challenges in terms of funding for education, which can impact the availability of school facilities and teaching materials. The next is disparities in resource allocation. There are disparities in the allocation of resources, with urban areas often having better facilities and more resources than rural areas. And the last is lack of infrastructure. Both countries face challenges in terms of infrastructure, including classrooms, toilets, and other essential facilities. Now, let's move forward to the teacher student ratios and teacher qualifications. In the Philippines, the average number of students per teacher is about 35. But in some public schools, it can go up to 60 students for just one teacher. This means that teachers often have to manage large classrooms, which can be challenging. And to become a teacher, individuals need to have at least bachelor's degree in education or a related field. Many teachers go a step further earn earn master's degree to enhance their knowledge and skills. Additionally, teachers are required to participate in training and professional development programs to keep improving their teaching abilities. However, the country is facing a significant shortage of qualified teachers, especially in rural and disadvantaged areas. This shortage makes it even harder for students in those regions to receive the quality education they deserve. Now let's move forward to the Vietnam. In Vietnam, the average number of students per teacher is about 25, but in some urban areas, it can be as low as 15 students for each teacher. This smaller this smaller class size can make it easier for teachers to give individual attention to their students. And to become a teacher in Vietnam, individuals need to have at least a bachelor's degree in education or a related field, just like in the Philippines. Many teachers also pursue master's degree to deepen their expertise. Additionally, teachers are required to participate in training and professional development programs to continually improve their teaching skills. Despite these efforts, Vietnam is also facing a shortage of qualified teachers, just like in the Philippines, especially in rural and disadvantaged areas. This shortage can make it difficult for students in those regions to access the quality education they need and they deserve. Now, let's move forward to the access and inclusivity policies on free education. In the Philippines, several laws promote access, inclusivity, and education. Republic Act Number 915 9155 focuses on governance and basic education, ensuring quality and equity. Republic Act Number 10931 provides free tuition in state university, while Republic Act Number 10533 enhances basic education. Additionally, TESDA and Native Learning System or the ALS offer vocational training and alternative pathways for learners. Now let's know or define those several laws promote access and inclusivity and education. First is the Republic Act number 9155 or known as the Governance of Basic Education Act of 2001. This law aims to improve the governance of basic education in the Philippines. It ensures that all children have access to quality education by making it free and compulsory at the elementary level and free at the high school level. Next is the Republic Act number 10931 or the Universal Access to Quality Tertiary Education Act. This law, institution, this law institutionalized free tuition for students in state university and colleges. It aims to make higher education accessible to all, especially from especially those from low-income families. Next is the Republic Act number 10533 or known as the Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. This act aims to enhance the quality of basic education by implementing the K-12 program. It extends the basic education cycle from 10 to 12 years, ensuring that students are better prepared for higher education and employment. And next is the TESDA, or the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority. TESDA provides vocational education and training to help individuals acquire skills for employment. It focuses on technical and vocational education, making it easier for learners to find jobs in various industries. And additionally, TESDA programs are designed to be accessible to all, including out-of-school youth and adults seeking to improve their skills. And lastly is the Alternative Learning System or the ALS. ALS is a parallel education system that offers flexible learning options for those who cannot access formal education. It caters to out-of-school youth and adults, providing them with opportunities to gain basic literacy and life skills. Now let's move forward in Vietnam. In Vietnam, education is a priority, and the government ensures that all children receive compulsory education from grade 1 to grade 9. This means that every child has the opportunity to learn and grow during these important years. To support students and their families, the government offers several benefits. For instance, many students can enjoy tuition exemption, which means they don't have to pay for their schooling. Additionally, there are merit-based scholarships available for those who excel in studies, helping to ease the financial burden of families. Vietnam also has specific programs designed to help students further their education. The National Scholarship Program, it provides financial assistance to talented students, while local government initiatives offer support tailored to the needs of communities. And for those students who decide not to continue to higher education, Vietnam provides vocational training program. These programs usually last between 1 to 3 years and focus on teaching practical skills that are valuable in the job market. Students can choose from various types of training, including the technical education. These learning skills related to technology and engineering. Next is the service sector training, gaining expertise in fields like hospitality, healthcare, and customer service. And last is the government initiatives. These programs supported by the government to help students prepare for specific careers. Overall, Vietnam is committed to ensuring that all students have access to quality education and the skills they need to succeed in life, whether they choose to pursue higher education or enter the workforce directly.